Hello, everybody. This is Tiny Gamer King coming at you with another draft team picks. This one is for the ADL Draft League. It's the season one, so everything for this league is new. Um, the administration, like the admins and that, on the in it have done other leagues, so they're a good team. Um, so we are going to talk about the team I drafted. It's a little different style than I'm used to. It's total points based. So you had 250 to draft points to draft 10 teams, no 10 Pokemon. Um, which, to tell you the truth, at first I thought would be fine. Um, but as the draft went along, I realizing that the points were going way quicker than I was thinking, which was definitely hard to figure what I was going to draft. But we got what we got, which I think turned out decently well. I definitely think there's some holes but I think we can work around it. So we got to pick first overall, um, which not total fan of. To tell you the truth, I kind of like the third, fourth pick in my opinion, but first overall is fine. You get to definitely pick your first whatever Pokemon you want, which is nice. Um, but you got but you have to wait the longest to get them back. Is what the sucky thing about it is. Um, but it is what it is. So it's like most drafts, the snake style. So you start at one, you go to I think there was 12 teams, and then from 12 back to one. So like I said, we drafted first, and the first Pokemon I drafted was Tornadus. Oh, and they have a fun little gimmick uh, that only Pokemon that cost 30 points or less can Tera. So you can draft like any Pokemon that is legal, but only certain ones can Tera, which will make it interesting. It'll give like the Pokemon that don't usually shine as much more of a way to shine, since they can Tera, and the Pokemon like Tornadus can't Tera. So Tornadus was our first pick with 52 points out of a 250 budget we had. So then we had to wait and come back, and then we got two picks back to back. And I didn't know what I wanted because it's the way I usually work. But I was like, this Pokemon I think would work really well with Tornadus, and that was Arclodon. He's Steel Dragon, which is a great typing. Only has two weaknesses of being ground and fighting. The abilities are nice. His stamina. Sturdy is probably not as useful, but it does have a crappy special defense. So if I'm going up against a team that's really especially offensive, maybe that could work. Or stalwart, which makes it so I can't be redirected. He can follow me all he wants. He can rage powder me, or they can rage powder me all they want. If I want to attack the other Pokemon I can, unless they protect. So, uh, Archelon cost me 44 points. So right there, we're almost 100 points gone after 2 picks. So I had to figure out what I was going to do. So the next Pokemon I picked was Toad School. And like I said, I picked Archelon and Toad School at the same time since I was a real. So as you can see, we are already past half of our points and we've only drafted 3 Pokemon. So Toad School gives us a Pokemon that lets us guarantee status on any Pokemon. So if we want to spore somebody, we can spore whoever we want. Even Pokemon like Goldango or anybody else has an ability that makes it so we can't. Mycelium might allow it so we can. So that's nice. It's really weird, but it gives us a Trick Room setter. Even though his speed's 100, so he definitely doesn't like to be in Trick Room. But he's there for that just in case, I guess, if we need it. He has its own signature move that will work really well with Tornadoes, so that's the plan. Oh, sorry. Archelon has a signature move that goes well with Tornadoes, so that's the plan. Toad School's there to help us support. So, the next mon I decided to pick up, since right now the only Pokemon I can Terra is Toad School. So I wanted a Pokemon I could Terra that would give me a little bit more of offensive pressure. So I decided to go with Infernape. So Infernape gives us a firefighting, which is an alright typing together, but nice. Helps us put in with Toad School with the fire, water, grass core. And with an attack of 104 and a special attack of 104, it's not the greatest, but it's nice and gives us options to either go specialty or physical. Probably more physical with its ability Iron Fist. But if we want to go special, we could go something like Blaze. But that's was the plan. So Infernape also cost us 30 points. So we have 94 points. As you can see, the points are going down pretty quickly. And the next couple mons I picked up don't help with that either. So like I said, I wanted to try not to overload myself with too high of points. I wanted to try to make it so my Pokemon could Terra. But at this point, a whole bunch of water types were getting drafted. And so I decided to go up a little my points, and I wanted to pick up a Pokemon I've never used before, which I thought might be interesting. And that was Samurai Hisuian. So that gives us 32 points. So we can't Terra, but it's a nice ability with sharpness. Attack of 108 is not too bad. Special attack of 100 isn't bad. And 90 HP and 80 into defense isn't bad. The special defense is, again, not the best. But maybe we can work around with that. But we will have to see. So I was like, I cannot take any more Pokemon with that amount of points. There's like no way. If I want to draft 10 Pokemon, I can't do that anymore. We have 32 points to draft the second half of our team. And I know I could just draft like one more high Pokemon and then the rest crappy ones I'll never use. But I like to try to pick up Pokemon that I can try to use in certain cases. Like I don't want to just draft 6 Pokemon and then bring them 6 Pokemon every time. That'll make things easy for my opponent to prep against. But in saying that, I know that in this kind of format, it definitely seems like you're going to be bringing a lot of the same mons each week, and that's just something we're going to have to see if we can work with. So the next Pokemon I picked up was Toxtricity. So Toxtricity gives us Poison Electric, which is nice. Gives us something to deal with the fairy types, which I didn't have at this moment. So I was like, I'd like to pick something up. And typing is not bad at all, with only having like ground and psychic as its weaknesses. Yes, it's 4 times weak to ground, so we definitely have to keep that in mind. But it gives us a special attack of 114, attack of 98, which isn't bad, not the greatest, but it's usable. It's not the most defensive, so we'll have to keep that in mind. But I think it'll be interesting to use. And Toxtricity cost me 24 points. But we can tear that, so we can get rid of things like the 4 times weakness if we think we need to. So the next Pokemon I picked up at the same time as I picked up Toxtricity. And it does give us type lapping. Like we're going to get a second type, but I think it's worth it. It's a little bit more than I would have liked to spend on this Pokemon. But we picked up Thwackey for 23 points. So again, we can tear him. And Thwackey gives us a little bit of coverage because we were a little bit of ground weakness. So Thwackey makes it so gives us another swap into ground if need be. But it also deters people from using moves like Earthquake because Grassy Surge stops Earthquake. Or not stops it, but cuts an attack in half. So they're more likely, if they're going to bring ground type moves, bring single target ground type moves, I think. That's my thinking anyways. So now we have to draft 3 more Pokemon with only 15 points. And like I said, I didn't want to just draft anybody. I wanted to draft ones I thought could be useful. So the next Pokemon I picked up, I've never used, so I don't know. It might be useless. But I decided to pick up Meteor. Meteor gives us first rock type. We duel up again with the flying type. But I think that's, with it being able to tear, I think that's fine. It cost us 9 points. So that left us with 6 points to pick for the next 2 Pokemon. And I trying to see if I can get 2 Pokemon that I liked with 3 points apiece, but I couldn't really find any that I thought would work work well with my team. So because I had to have at least 1 point to draft a Pokemon, we picked up Vigoroth, and Vigoroth gives us for 5 points. Oh. Only 1 point left. But Vigoroth, I think I like Vigoroth. I've used it in a couple things, so I thought it'd be nice. It's 90 point. It's 90. It has a base speed of 90, which is nice. Attack of 80, which isn't too bad. And defense and special HP is 80 as well. So I think it's workable. It does give us a second Eviolite user, so we definitely have to think about that. But what are you going to do when you have so little points? You're pretty much going to be picking pre-evolution Pokemon. Or not fully evolved Pokemon. So, with 1 point left, we picked up Cranidos as my last Pokemon. So it hits like a truck. Base attack of 125 is gonna hurt. It, like I said, it gives us another dual rock. It gives us another rock type. So we now doubled up on our rock, flying, and grass. So that could be something I think about fixing in the future. But I was like, I think this would be a good Pokemon to have on our team. It's definitely something I think people would still have to worry about, even though it's a first form Pokemon. But like 125 with sheer force, it's gonna hit like a truck. So they either have to double into it, or if I have it I can maybe in Tailwind do make it fast enough to outspeed some Pokemon. Or if need be, maybe we bring a Trick Room. Like, who knows, right? Definitely don't have a good Trick Room team, but 58 and 60 it was workable. 75 is not the greatest. It's at that point that you don't want it to be in Trick Room, but we might be able to do something with that. So it's definitely something we can look into. But that's our team. Is there things that need to be worked on? Yes. Is there better teams in the elite division? I'm sure there is. I haven't really looked, to tell you the truth, to get a really good look at the teams. But I think we did decently with what I wanted. Probably could have done a couple different things. Like I said, Trick Room is definitely going to hurt us, but I think we can hopefully work with that. And like I said, we have definitely got some type overlapping that we might need to fix. But I think the team is decent for what the type of draft this is. And like I said, the points definitely went quicker than I was thinking they would, which I should have realized that they'd go pretty quick. But I think we can work with this team and do pretty well, I'm hoping. Especially if we decide to do a couple little changes here and there. But I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to or not. But until then, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. And see you guys in the future with our battles. Till then, talk to you later.